Good morning, everyone. Today our topic is bad obstetric history. Topic is very small, but is an important topic. So, definition of bad obstetric history. What is bad obstetric history? So, a pregnant mother where her present obstetric outcome is likely to be affected adversely by the nature of previous obstetric disaster. Means at present, whatever the pregnancy the patient is having, the outcome of that pregnancy will be get affected by any history, any obstetric history, specifically any obstetric history previous, any previous obstetric history or any impact, any bad history, obstetric history, that may affect the present pregnancy. That is called as the female with bad obstetric history. The term bad obstetric history is applied to the mother where her present obstetric outcome, whatever the output of this current pregnancy, that will be get affected by the by any previous obstetric, any bad obstetric experience the patient is having, that may affect the current pregnancy. That is the female with bad obstetric history. So basically, the previous pregnancy loss is generally very common. So we can see abortion. The cases of abortion we had already seen recurrent abortion. Whenever the cases of habitual abortion or history of abortion, the patient is having repeated abortion, consecutive spontaneous abortion. This is really an important topic for the patient whenever there is current pregnancy is there, that will having impact on the current pregnancy if at all the patient is having pregnancy loss previously. So investigations and management. Investigations basically to find out etiological factors, etiological factors that has caused her loss of pregnancy, previous loss of pregnancy, or any bad experience that she is having during the last pregnancy. So to find out the etiological factors, first is to find the etiological factor, then to treat that factor, and again to remain aware till delivery so that it should not cause impact on the pregnancy. So the first one is to find out the etiological factor, antiphospholipid syndrome. Antiphospholipid syndrome here, in this lupus anticoagulant and anticardiolipin antibodies are estimated basically. And what is they are having? These are the marker. These are the marker tests, and they will find out if at all any adverse impact is there of the previous pregnancy on the current pregnancy is there or not. Basically, the antibodies are present. That is IgG and IgM, and they bind negatively charged phospholipids in current pregnancy, so that they can detect the problem in current pregnancy also. So, whenever these antibodies are present during the current pregnancy, they'll cause the changes in the decidual vessels. So, they will not allow the dilatation, vasodilatation of the vessels of this vessels means placental vessels, that are maternal placental circulation. Whenever the place where they are connecting, they will not allow the vasodilatation, and they will cause the vascular endothelium. Basically, they will cause injury, and the levels of thromboxane, that is vasoconstrictor, it is so it will be raised, and platelet count is raised, and then the patient will suffer from, basically she will suffer some from she might suffer from hypertension. Again, IUGR is common in such cases. So to rule out all this, we have to do this investigation. Antiphospholipid syndrome, if at all it is present, then we have to do all these investigations. This is lupus anticoagulant, anticardiolipin antibodies. we have to look for anti-IgG and IgM. So impact of this is preterm labor might be there, IUGR might be there, preeclampsia we had already seen, IUFD, HELP syndrome, abruptio placentae might be there, thromboembolic disease we can see, thrombocytopenia might be we can notice in such patients. Again, thrombophilias in some in these cases these are inherited or acquired deficiency of some inhibitory proteins and that are known as means some regulatory proteins are absent or they are minimum so that the coagulation inhibition of coagulation has been lost or minimized so that there will not be coagulation and there will be complications specifically for in relation to pregnancy and also the delivery. So, inherited thrombophilias like antithrombin deficiency is common. Prothrombin gene mutation is there. Hyperhomocystinemia is there. It will cause preeclampsia, eclampsia, IUGR, stillbirth, IUD, placental abruption. All these cases may happen. Hyperhomocystinemia, it is an autosomal recessive genetic disorder basically. Autosomal recessive inheritance it is, and mutation of the enzyme is there. So the enzyme is MTHFR. This enzyme is basically mutation occurs, and basically in normal pregnancy the levels are of these enzymes are low, but in hyperhomocystinemia, this is somewhat increased, and what it will cause inactivation of C-type protein C. So what it will cause basically the placental vascular atherosclerosis may occur, and basically they are associated with neural tube defects. So folic acid supplementation is very important in first trimester. Throughout the pregnancy you have to give, but it is very important. Folic acid supplementation has to be given during pregnancy. Again, common causes for this bad obstetric history we can see are the endocrine disorders like thyroid, hypothyroidism, diabetes, again antiphospholipid syndrome, and already we had seen like thrombophilias, hyperhomocystinemia, various structural abnormalities of uterus, cervix like cervical incompetence, septate uterus. So in this condition, cervical cerclage is very important and it has to be done. Whenever there is bad obstetric history, you have to do cervical cerclage. Again, any maternal systemic disease, if at all patient is having. Again, previous history of any deformity to the uh, baby or neural tube defects, if at all present, then there are chances of recurrence. So you have to investigate the case accordingly. Again, to treat the factors which are offending like diabetes if at all in present pregnancy it is there, then it has to be treated properly if at all needed with the insulin. Again, rates in alloimmunization, if at all it is there, fetal wastage previously if at all has been there, then it should be managed with the proper specialized medicine. It has to be given if at all the mother is RH negative. Then DVT, deep venous thrombosis. DVT means deep venous thrombosis. If at all present, it may lead to placental infarction also, and it may lead to pulmonary embolism also. So it is very risky. Pregnancy may patient may lose the pregnancy, or her own life is at risk. So low dose aspirin is given, anticoagulant. This is basically so low molecular weight heparin is administered basically to treat this DVT, deep venous thrombosis. Next one is to remain vigilant. To remain vigilant means to remain alert, and this is on the part of the doctor, obstetrician. Okay, he or she should remain alert so that whatever the factors present in the body of the female, that should not. We should minimize the impact in the current pregnancy, so that we can give a healthy baby to the mother. Look for the complicating factors, whether known or unknown, and complete ANC. Proper ANC has to be done. Weight gain should be watched for. Blood pressure is continuously monitored, and again, proper tetanus toxin has to be given. Proper investigations as per the need has to be done, and hospitalization, if at all patient is having minimum problem, has to be done. And if at all IUD is there, in history of unexplained IUD is there, then counseling has to be done to the patient, and proper treatment as far as possible has to be given, so that we can give a proper healthy baby to the mother. So this is about the bad obstetric history, and this is generally asked as a short note, and this is a very important question, viva point of view. So hope you have understood this topic of bad obstetric history. If at all you are having any query, please mention in the comment box. I'll try to solve it. Thank you. Thank you very much.